The 2022 CAF is a large-scale government undertaking that is geared towards the collection and compilation of basic information on the agricultural and fishery sectors in the country. Data collected in this census shall constitute the basis from which policymakers and planners formulate their plans and programs for the socio-economic development of the country. The 2022 CAF will be the 7th of a series of decennial agricultural census, and the 6th of the decennial census of fisheries in the country since 1903. The 2022 CAF is envisioned to achieve the following objectives. Determine the structural characteristics of agriculture and fishery sectors in the country. Provide sampling frames for the conduct of periodic agricultural and fishery surveys. Provide basic data on the agriculture, aquaculture, and fishing characteristics for use in the government's national and local development planning. Over the years, the CAF has been a source of comprehensive statistics on agriculture and fisheries for the use of the general public, government, business industries, and research and academic institutions. The activities to be covered during the conduct of the 2022 CAF are the following: growing of crops, livestock and poultry, aquaculture, and fisheries. The pilot census intends to simulate the conduct of a sample census in selected areas, to test the procedures recommended for use in the actual census, and to improve any aspect if necessary. In general, the objectives of the pilot census are to test questionnaires, manuals, and administrative forms to be used, including the operationalization of the concepts and definitions. Apply all interview methods, field operation plans, and systems to be used for the actual census, and identify procedures that need to be revised. Ascertain output rates for data collection, manual processing, and machine processing. Establish the procedures for the census monitoring system, and test the data processing procedures to be used for the actual census. The following data collection methods are to be used for the pilot census. Computer-assisted personal interviewing, CAPI. It is a face-to-face data collection method, in which the interviewer reads the questions, as they appear in the e-questionnaire using a tablet to record answers given during the interview. This enables simultaneous automatic coding of the responses and real-time checking of consistency of entries. Paper and pencil personal interviewing, PAPI. The face-to-face traditional method will still be adopted in areas where CAPI is not possible. Computer-assisted telephone interview, CATI. A data collection method in which an interviewer calls the respondent and asks questions based on the e-questionnaire, and the responses are keyed directly into the computer or tablet, through a CAPI data capture system. This is a flexible alternative to personal interviews, especially for agricultural farm operators or fishing operators who may not be available for personal interviews within the enumeration period, and for verification of inconsistent, non-response items and delayed census returns. Alternately, paper and pen telephone interview, PATI, can also be used in areas using paper questionnaires, and the respondent refuses to be interviewed face-to-face. Computer-assisted web interview, CAWI. It is a self-accomplished data collection method in which the respondent autonomously answers the e-questionnaire using a computer, tablet, smartphone, or any other device with a browser. In using CAWI, the respondent will receive the invitation to self-accomplish the questionnaire through an email containing the link to the questionnaire. This will be used for interviewing establishments and institutions. Self-administered electronic questionnaire, SAEQ. This is an alternative interview method using a questionnaire in fillable PDF format. This file is to be sent to the respondents to self-accomplish the questionnaires. Self-administered paper questionnaire, SAPQ. SAPQ will be distributed to individuals and establishments or institutions that can more conveniently accomplish paper questionnaires. A schedule will then be set for the collection and retrieval of forms through a courier or other possible means. Specifically, the 2022 CAF aims to obtain data on number of households with household members engaged in agricultural, aquaculture, and fishing activities and the number of operators in each type of activity. demographic and socioeconomic characteristics of the operators and their household members. The legal status of agricultural holders and the legal form of organization of aquaculture and fishing activities. The type of agricultural activity operated, such as growing of crops and raising of livestock and/or poultry, and type of fishery activities such as aquaculture, municipal fishing and/or commercial fishing. The characteristics of agricultural holdings or farms, such as main purpose of production, number, physical area, location, tenure status, and main use of parcels, use of irrigation in the parcel, kind of crops planted in each parcel, planting pattern, area planted, area harvested, and kind and inventory of livestock, poultry raised. Aquaculture, such as the type, location and size or volume of aquafarm, and the type of water environment used. Characteristics of fishing activity, such as the type of water for fishing operation, number, ownership, gross tonnage and kind of boat, vessel used, fishing ground, fish landing centers, and type of fishing gears, devices, accessories employed in fishing activity. The presence, availability of agriculture and fishery facilities such as input dealers and service providers in the barangay, and destructive natural calamities experienced in the barangay in the past 5 years. Since 2019, the Agriculture and Fisheries Census Division has started developing the 2022 CAF questionnaires in collaboration with ESSS and MAS. These questionnaires were continuously developed and improved through the series of review sessions, workshops, and pre-tests using PAPI and CAPI methods. CAWI questionnaires and system were also developed to be sent for establishments with agriculture and fisheries activities. 3 municipalities and 1 barangay of 4 provinces were selected as pilot areas, according to a set of criteria based on the 2012 CAF results on the proportion of households engaged in growing of crops, livestock and poultry, aquaculture and fishing, and results of the 2020 updating of list of establishments for respondents of establishment questionnaires. San Mateo Isabela is a lowland terrain that is prosperous in the growing of crops, livestock, and poultry raising. This is where household and establishment forms, Ilocano translation, and systems will be tested. Taliban Bohol is a coastal terrain with nearby island areas which is prosperous in aquaculture and municipal fishing activities. This is where household and establishment forms, Cebuano translation, and systems will be tested. Socorro Surigao del Norte is a coastal and island municipality that is prosperous in growing of crops and municipal fishing activities. This is where household and establishment forms, Visaya translation, and systems will be tested. On the other hand, Barangay Tambler of General Santos City, South Cotabato is prosperous in commercial fishing activities and establishments on agriculture and fisheries. Household questionnaires will be tested on Barangay Tambler using CAPI only, while the establishment questionnaires will be tested on the entire city of General Santos using CAWI and SAQ. All households will be listed and interviewed to determine the presence of household members who were operators, one who managed or operated a farm, aqua farm, and/or fishing activity for the period October 1, 2020 to September 30, 2021. These operators will be interviewed to collect data on the basic characteristics of their agricultural, aquaculture and/or fishing activities using the core questionnaires. Moreover, the Punong Barangay or any incumbent barangay official will be interviewed to gather information on the presence, availability of facilities, input dealers and service providers related to agriculture, aquaculture, and fisheries in the barangay. The following interview methods are to be used for the pilot areas and unit of enumeration. For the sample census coverage of San Mateo Isabela, the CAPI method will be used for the households and barangays, while the CAWI and SAQ methods will be tested for the establishments. For the sample census coverage of Taliban Bohol, the CAPI method will be used for the households and barangays, while the CAWI and SAQ methods will be tested for the establishments. For the full census coverage of Socorro Surigao del Norte, the CAPI method will be used for the households and barangays, while the CAWI and SAQ methods will be tested for the establishments. For one barangay coverage of General Santos City, South Cotabato, The CAPI method will be used for the households and barangay, while the CAWI and SAQ methods will be tested for all the establishments. Legal bases exist supporting the conduct of CAF and safeguarding the personal information of individuals by ensuring data remain confidential, secure and protected against misuse. Supporting the conduct of 2022 CAF is the Executive Order No. 352, or the designation of statistical activities that will generate critical data for decision-making of the government in the private sector, which provides for the conduct of CAF every 10 years, and RA No. 10625, or the Philippine Statistical Act of 2013, which states that PSA shall be primarily responsible for all national censuses and surveys, sectoral statistics, consolidation of administrative recording system, and compilation of national accounts. Specifically, Section 6(b) of this Act mandates the PSA to prepare and conduct periodic censuses on population, housing, agriculture, fisheries, business, industry, and other sectors of the economy. We also have RA 10173, or the Data Privacy Act of 2012, that protects the fundamental human right of privacy, of communication, while ensuring free flow of information to promote innovation and growth and ensure that personal information in information and communication systems in the government and in the private sector are secured and protected. Corollary to the above, Section 4(e) of RA 10173 states that the right of privacy does not apply to information necessary in order to carry out the functions of public authority. Moreover, Section 12(e) of this Act states that the processing of personal information shall be permitted only if not otherwise prohibited by law, and when the processing is necessary in order to fulfill functions of public authority, which necessarily includes the processing of personal data for the fulfillment of its mandate. Further, Section 19 provides for the non-applicability of the rights of the data subject if the processed personal information are used only for the needs of scientific and statistical research, and, on the basis of such, no activities are carried out and no decisions are taken regarding the data subject.